Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in for another one of my videos. Continuing with the Yes vinyl collection. We're going from this section now over to the other end of the room, the other side of the room, and we're now into the 90s, so I sort of rush through these quickly as we can really. First one to I suppose is Union. Very mixed album. Two sort of Yes groups coming together, not overly successfully, too much of a marketing thing really. The accountants were happy, but I don't think many other people were happy. But there's some fine moments in it, but I would say the dross is things like Saving My Heart, Dangerous, Holding On, pretty poor, but there's some quality stuff in there. I Would Have Waited Forever was undeveloped but otherwise decent. Lift Me Up is a good Trevor Rabin pop song. Without Hope You Cannot Start the Day is a kind of nothing really Anderson song. Miracle of Life is very nice. Squire, co-written by Squire, I think. Silent Talking, again undeveloped, okay. The More We Live, Let Go, do really enjoy that. Atmospheric. Even Song is okay, some nice sort of touches by Bruford. Take the Water to the Mountain. The demo version, which I've put on a separate video, is nice. This one is just sort of curtailed really. Artwork, nothing really to talk about. It's okay. I've just got a second version of Union, which is the Marlborough Music Presents version. So it's a sponsored thing for Marlborough Tobacco. And I think this was Russian, looks like the writing down there. And it's quite an interesting one because the actual album slips out of there. So you have this kind of die cut thing. Back of it's not much different, and the sleeves not much different. It's got a sticker on there. It looks Greek to me, but then it's all Greek to me. See if there's a clue on the label. The inner bag I think is slightly different to the UK one. It's all in English though. That's the back end of it. Standard Arista label says nothing. So yeah, I don't know whether there are that many variants of Union. Certainly don't want too many copies of it in my collection, but it was I've only ever seen one of them, so I decided to buy it. Okay, what have we got next? Okay, so this is Yes Years. Is it a triple or a double? It's a triple, so this is the triple vinyl version of Yes Years. It's a bit tight in that bag. Let's see if I can free that up a bit. So we've got the first appearance of the square, what I call the square Yes logo. That's not going to come out easily, so we'll... Here comes an edit, as it. Right, so having slid that out easily from its plastic protective cover. A really nice Roger Dean painting for the cover, Yellow City, and that's the back. So as I say, it's 3 discs, and I think it's it's a tri-fold sleeve. That's it. So that one opens that way. That one opens that way. So these are just pages from the book that you get with the CD box set. But interesting as the end ones, the discs come out as you'd expect. Show you the label. So yeah, so it's called Yes Story. So it's not Yes Yours, it's Yes Story. So as I say, they come out from as you'd expected, but the middle one comes out from the top. So quite unusual in terms of its construction. I've got the box set, which when that came out it was something I did play. Haven't bothered playing the vinyl. There's nothing on the vinyl that's not on the box set, I don't think. Yeah, so it's not that easy to find actually, the vinyl version of that. So these came out in 91. Close to the hype. This is kind of 12-inch, like a drum and bass type mix version of Close to the Edge. I think it was Damien Anderson, John Anderson's son, with some of his mates in the studio having fun with it. That was 1992 on Then Music Limited, and yeah, you can pick these up dirt cheap on Discogs, and it still happens to be in my collection, and well, I've kept that, to be honest. So we then come into 93 was pretty bland, and then 94 we had Talk. So this is my original copy of Talk. I've done a special video on this, so I don't need to say much more about it. But again, this was at a time when record companies were moving away from vinyl, just going on to purely CD. So not a huge number of vinyl pressings were made. So they're not cheap now to find an original. I've got the music on vinyl version, which is in a, it's not in a gatefold sleeve, but I think it's got inner sleeves if I remember rightly. So that's a double, and they extended it out over 3 sides, and then on the 4th side they put a special version for calling. The 3rd version is the one they brought out not long ago in white vinyl, double vinyl. So again, it's the same kind of track list as the music on vinyl one, but in white vinyl. So what I'm going to do is put those back so everything doesn't fall over. I'll leave those because they've got to be bagged up again. So 1994, Talk came and went. They did a tour of America, and I think they did Chile. I think they did Japan, but they didn't do Europe or the UK. Now we can't talk about Yes in the 90s without mentioning Keys to Ascension. Basically, it's never been released on vinyl, hence it doesn't appear in these racks at this stage, but it did come out on Laserdisc. So if it was out on vinyl, it would look something like this, albeit without the OB strip. So this is the Japanese Laserdisc of the live Keys to Ascension tracks. So effectively it's the concert on Laserdisc. Lovely gatefold sleeve, etc. We'll have a look at that properly when we come to the to that section. But what basically happened after Talk was that the whole thing kind of broke up. After the tour, I think they realised it hadn't sold well. The amount of interest was limited, so everybody had a rethink, and basically John Anderson came back to his English roots really, and rejoined with Rick Wakeman and the Classic Yes lineup. Got together and did the Keys to Ascension tracks. So what I would say is the live tracks, the concerts were great. They were filmed in a rather odd way, which makes them seem as if they're a bit washed out, and there isn't a lot of colour for some reason. Also, even what they're wearing is all very kind of wishy-washy, white and creams and that sort of thing. Beautiful theatre though, and the track list was phenomenally good. So we heard live performances of Classic Yes tracks that we haven't heard for donkey's years, so it was an amazing thing to happen in a way. But as always with these things, the record company decide to milk it insofar as they can do, so they got studio tracks mixed up with the live tracks, did it in 2 volumes, and it didn't really work that way. The studio tracks, I think, didn't really come over that well, apart from, in my mind, that is a track that I think is a Classic Yes track, and I play it a lot and really enjoy it when I play it. It's a really moving track. Mind Drive's okay, but for me it doesn't really do anything for me, but it has that sort of drum rhythm beat which I think they first showed us on the Union tour. But anyway, strange mixed bag really of things, and I mean, we got about 4 different paintings from Roger Dean with the overall package, and the CDs got re-released numerous times, but for some reason it's never come out on vinyl, and it would be nice one day to see that happen. So anyway, again, it was a short-lived thing. We thought, oh, this is great, the band are back together, but Rick leaves, couldn't agree terms or whatever, and they are back in the studio desperately trying to find a way to relaunch the band yet again. And of course then what happens is open your eyes. So this is a lot of material from Billy Sherwood, who takes the sort of co-guitar role, yeah, it's basically a 5-piece with Billy Sherwood now. No keyboard player as such performed on the album, and it was a bit of a nothing album really. I mean, no effort was made at all on the sleeve, other than they gave us a nice Classic Yes logo. This is the Serena pressing. So this didn't come out at the time, we just had the CD, so the vinyl came out later. So the album came out in '97 just on CD. This one came out in 2012 on Serena. Nice gatefold sleeve, nothing else, but red vinyl. Both the discs are red vinyl, I think. and so that was that version. But there's another version on vinyl which came out I think later. This is the Ear Music pressing. It says limited to 3,000. Yeah, 3,000 of these were made only. Mine's number 2489, so you get a numbered sticker down there. So very similar. Compare the two. Pretty much the same at the front. The backs are different, but the insides I think are pretty much the same. Yeah. Well, the difference on the insides is you get a nice Yes logo there. And the Serena one is not quite as nice quality printing. And then the other difference on this one is that you do get nice inner sleeves. So the first one's got plain orange on the back, logo at the front, and then the vinyl's orange. Second one again, nice logo, red on the back, and the vinyl's red. So 180 gram pressings. So nice to have a couple of versions of that. Never play it, listened to it when I got it for a few times, couldn't get into it really. It was just a vehicle to get out on the road really and do a tour, which they did, and which was great. So really that brings us up to the ladder. So this is now 1999. So they've done Open Your Eyes, gone out on tour, theatre tour really of the UK, and it was a world tour, wasn't it really? But they come back and get together and do a proper Yes album. So they decided we're going to spend time together in the studio, write some proper songs, and get a good producer, Bruce Fairbairn, and this was the Ladder album. Got Roger Dean to do the sleeve, nice kind of poster there with images for each of the tracks and band members, and they've all signed the thing there. So I think on the CD you've got that as a poster, fold out poster. Black vinyl, but nice logo. And this is a double album. And again, nice logo. So much improved. Just to say, I got it signed as well, so it's a nice autographed copy. Don't go in for autographs as such, as you can probably tell. So it was an okay album. But we've kind of gone through the decade, and they had a lot of material, and most of it's decent. It's decent material on the Ladder. It Will Be a Good Day, I think, was a song that stood out. There was kind of immediate response on that one, and I think they played that on the most recent tour, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily stand the test of time compared to their old classic stuff. But Homeworld was okay, and yeah, The Messenger's a good track. can do without most of the other tracks, to be honest. So that's the 90s of Yes, and then we move into this period where things get very confusing, but we get some good music, and get some good live stuff as well. So we'll do that in the next video, but thanks for watching. That's that for this one.